dance, bitch. Life's a party. There's always
It's
a party. Let's go. We're going to have to get a waiver for you to sign that you're not eligible to say that.
Let's go. What's up?
Because then I'm going to start bringing my lawyer involved. And once I start bringing the lawyer involved, he's going to understand that I own 51% of this company.
Huh? You own what?
And I own that slogan.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
We do have a lot of good slogans. Like, eventually, when we start getting the real merch and have, like, a merch store, we'll have some really good slogans for shirts. Like, I'm eating a donut.
The classic.
I'm eating a donut. Look at the water. How you doing, Paul?
Hey, everyone. Welcome to Life's a Party. Life's always a party. Here. If you're not following us already on all the platforms, follow us, do that thing. Give us 5 stars, like this video, comment. We appreciate all the partiers every week. It means the world to us.
Speaking of partiers, we're going to go down a list of our top 5 favorite shots.
Are we?
Yes, we are. You're not prepared. Do you have your list
I'm
prepared?
I'm ready. I mean,
Paul was shocked. No, we're going to do that? I didn't plan for that.
You got a shot? Let's do it.
I'll do a shot. We got to take a shot.
Look, he's scared. We got all these shots on the show.
Okay, we're not going to do a shot.
Continue.
We're pussies. Once again, that's a shirt. I'm a bitch. All right, so here we go. Here are my top 5 shots. Let me know, see if you agree, if they make your top 5 or not. Number 5 for me is a Jager Bomb or a Skittle Bomb. Now, I don't like Jager Bombs, but I found myself to... Sorry. I find myself that I drink them more often recently.
Yeah.
Not by choice, because we have a friend, Shawnee Brawny.
Great guy.
Gets talked about a lot on the show.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's known for drinking a lot of Jager Bombs when we go out to the bar. Like, you know how you bet, like, overs and unders in basketball, like LeBron up here on the set?
Yes.
Like, oh, LeBron, 26.5 points. Is he going to have over or is he going to have under that amount of points? We do over-unders for Shawnee Brawny on how many Jager Bombs he's going to have for the night.
What sucks is that Jager Bombs are expensive.
They're
not a cheap drink.
And there's never like Friday night discount Jager Bombs.
No.
That's
Doesn't
not
happen.
a discount. So we have like, is Sean going to have under, or over 9.5 Jager Bombs? So then I started to find myself every time I'm around him or he got a house. So my housewarming gift for him was a bottle of Jager Bomb.
Nice.
Was a bottle of Jager, and I got Red Bull.
Nice.
And, well, I'm going to get in this real quick. So he had his brand new house. So I brought him a bottle of Jager and some Red Bull as a housewarming gift. 2 weeks go by. I go back over his house to watch, I don't know, NBA Sixers game, I think it was. Not even open. Who ended up opening and having the first Jager Bomb out of the bottle?
You.
I did. So I bought him a Jager Bomb gift. 2 weeks later, I'm the one that opened it and started drinking out of it first.
So what's funny is for my birthday, my little, his name's Alec. Alec, for my birthday, he got me Michelob. He got me like a case of Michelob.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like a month later, he comes over. He's like, "Hey, man, you have any beer?" I was like, "Yeah, I do. Thank you. Here's a Michelob." He's like, "Is that mine?" I said, "Yes, it is."
That's so funny. Yeah, it happened to me. Jager Bomb. I don't like Jager. They always have like the Jagermeister machines.
Yeah.
But Red Bull, we've been through it. Are you drinking Red Bull tonight? There it is.
Sponsor us, Red Bull. I love you.
Try to stay away from Red Bull, but wait, we didn't really correlate that well. Sponsor us, Red Bull. I fumbled the bag on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I love energy drinks, and Red Bull, as you'll see, is a lot on this list. And a lot of, big drinks and famous shots are made with Red Bull.
You were looking that up prior to the show. You're like, man, I didn't realize how much Red Bull is a mix.
Red Bull is like literally in almost every good shot. It's crazy.
All right, so my next number 4 shot is Crown Royal Apple. This is more of a wild card. You probably didn't see this coming. My buddy Joe, shout out Joe Matchett, he got me on this wave. I like the airplane shots that they come in.
Yes, I like those
Crown
too.
Royal you're the packaging police. Crown Royal has great packaging. I think we probably talked about this not on the show, but a lot of people, Crown Royal comes in that bottle, but it comes in that nice fancy bag.
Yes, it does.
My grandfather used to take that bag and put like his Goffin teas in it.
Smart.
It's a nice bag, so it has nice packaging. I like the Crown Royal Apple.
Looks good. Yeah, sound good.
All right, number 2 is Ruppelmint's, or what we call it as Doctor. So basically the toothpaste shot. So if you think of toothpaste, that's what the shot tastes like. It's
it
big
really
by our
does.
local bar. I don't think if it wasn't big in our local bar, then it wouldn't be up there on my favorite. But it's not as expensive, I don't think, unless I just get a discount.
You actually bought me that shot 2 weeks ago.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I don't know.
You were like, "You want a shot?" I'm like, "I have no clue what this is." And then I took it. I'm like, "This is the toothpaste one, right?" And you're like, "Yeah." I was like, "This is awful, dude."
Well, it's good. You don't have to. We've been through it. You don't have to brush your teeth.
There you
if
go.
you're worried about your breath, you just pop a little doctor
Minty fresh, yeah.
shot. You didn't like that shot?
No, not at all. Not
so
a
you
fan.
don't want me to get you that next time we're out?
I mean, a free shot's a free
well,
shot.
what would you want me to get you?
I like.
I mean, we might be
bombs.
through this on your list, but
Yeah.
should I wait?
Yeah, we wait, and then I'll.
So
I'll
then
get,
your number one is what I should get you next time, or anything on
yes,
the list.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. The number two, I like kamikazes, though I don't have them as often as I should.
Kamikazes are fantastic.
Do you get them out often?
No.
I always think that people like this is stupid of me, but I also think that people never know how to make kamikazes. But it's so stupid because that's like such a generic shot, isn't it?
I think so. I mean,
So
I
if
remember.
I go to like any local bar, they should know how to make a kamikaze.
I remember. Yeah, I believe so. And really, kamikazes for me immediately. I go. We had a bunch of them on our trip to Punta Cana.
That's when I was like introduced to them.
I think those shots was like, okay, what do we do? And the bartender was loving making kamikazes. That's like what he was doing. And we got 8 of us. He's making, huge jugs of kamikaze. And I really haven't had him since. I feel every once in a while, if someone's feeling up to it,
Yeah.
they'll be like, and kamikaze is a fun word to say.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of fucked up. If you think about it.
But it's fun. Yes.
It also does to you what the name says. It follows through with that. But I think because I remember we were on that trip in Punta Cana and they made a lot of kamikazes, but it felt like almost every other one was a different color.
Yellow and blue, I remember.
I like blue the best, but I remember because I think there's like a touch of lime. I think what is it? Triple sec in it, a little bit of lime juice vodka, and that pretty much makes the kamikaze. So I don't know where the other flavors or colors come into, but I do like kamikaze. I should start getting that more often rather than the doctor shot that you hate. All right, my final number one is tequila. I like the tequila. It takes away all those mixtures. It takes away adding Red Bull. It takes away adding like the triple sec or like lime juice. It's just straight tequila. It's what you're getting your money's worth. That's what I like. I hate when people order green tea shots that are $5 and they don't get the job done. Just pay $6. Get tequila, Patron, Casamigos. We talk about. I like it. Before I knew like the good tequila, I was getting this thing called. I used to go, hey, let me just get a shot of house tequila.
Awful. Literally, why would you ever do that?
Horrible.
Yeah.
The bartender told me that it was called El Toro. So if you're at a bar, take an El Toro tequila shot. Horrible. Horrible. So definitely you need the upper end tequila shots. Try it out. Casamigos Patron. That's my 5 shots.
Yeah, we're big fans of Casamigos tequila,
Yeah, it's not up there.
but we
Is it
need
what-
to get it up there.
No, because then we can't. Well, an empty bottle will get up there.
Yeah.
I have a bottle in my house, but I'm not going to put it up for display.
Yeah,
You got to
well,
drink that.
the problem is it's so expensive, but I really
Yeah.
do like it. And you'll see, it might be on my list.
All right, let's hear your list, Paulie.
Number 5, Ryan doesn't like it, as he just said, green tea shot.
Why?
Because a green tea shot is a great group shot. It's like, how do you start the night?
Okay.
And you know everyone will like it.
That's true because it's a pussy shot. So then everyone's going to say yes, and they're not going to decline it.
Exactly.
If
And
I go, who wants tequila? No.
yeah.
No.
Dude, honestly, it really do be
So
like that.
That's number 5 for the vibe.
The vibe, that's how you start the night, vibe. Or the problem is you can start the night with tequila, but then everyone, as you said, might not be into it, and then it's just not as fun, and I'd rather make sure everyone is in.
There was a viral TikTok going around of this guy. They were on vacation, and he walked around with an airplane fire shot, a fireball, and he'd be like, here you go, walking around as everybody's unpacking. And they're like, no, I won't take it. So that's like what you're saying. I classify green tea shots as the same as Gatorade shots.
They're agreed.
Pussy shots.
My number 4, Skittle Bomb.
Skittle Bomb.
I love a Skittle Bomb. They're just, they taste good and they have a good flavor to them.
You ever put Skittles in the Skittle Bomb?
You should. We love Skittles. We have a
do.
Skittle machine here on the
Yeah,
show.
we do. We have to fill up because producer Drew he doesn't eat dinner. His dinner is Skittles. That's what it is.
What's crazy about that machine is that we use it so much. It's like our worst enemy, really.
And it's like automatic, and there's like a pattern of how many Skittles you get out of it.
Correct.
It's like you'll get 1, you'll get none, you'll get 3, you'll get 5, you'll get 1. Then right after the 1, it's like 20. So you got to memorize the pattern.
The order of the Skittle machine. Yeah, we love it. But Skittle Bomb is my number 4. My number 3, tequila. I love tequila.
El Toro.
No house tequila. I will never get house tequila.
El Toro, baby.
Casamigos, when I was really introduced to Casamigos, is just like, I love the taste of it. And what's so funny is I love watching people take tequila shots.
Oh yeah,
It's an amazing story. It's an amazing show. I could watch a whole
it's a
thing
roller
on it.
coaster of adventures.
Roller coaster of emotions.
Though I must say that TikTok trend where it's like, guess who took the shot, guess who took the water.
Yeah, I love that trend.
Some are hard.
Yeah, I mean, some people, that's the difference, right? Some people can really take a shot, no matter what.
Not me.
Really tequila, where
Wincing in pain, I am. after I
yeah,
take
most people like no reaction.
Where's the
right?
lime? Where's the salt? I put it all in my mouth. It's hard.
But I think tequila's better that way. I think tequila really is better with everything involved. And as we've talked about before on the show, it's better when it's chilled. I mean, go buy a shaker. It'll change your freaking life. Like, we'll graduate from college, graduate from your warm alcohols shots.
Yes.
And once you get you chill your alcohol and you take those shots, 100% better. Number 2, Jager Bombs. So Ryan also had Jager Bombs. He was number 5. It's a little at the top of my list. And I think it's because 2 of my favorite things. Red Bull and Jaeger.
You like Jaeger?
I do. I like the taste of it.
It's like cough syrup.
No, but I think it tastes so good.
You don't think it relates in any way to cough syrup?
No. I like it.
That's just a wrong statement.
And my favorite drink at the bar is vodka Red Bulls.
Would you take a Jaeger shot straight?
Probably not. Because why would I?
Love Jaeger.
Yeah, but why would if I like Red Bull, right? And I like Jaeger and like I really like Jaeger Bombs. I think it's more of the act of doing the shot. I like dropping it.
You like it having like an activity.
Yeah, it's different.
I do like that. One time, but I did take a Jaeger Bomb over the weekend. Not this weekend, following weekend, and I was out at the bar and I dropped the Jaeger into the Red Bull, and it never exploded. It just floated at the top of the Red Bull. This wasn't like you have to pour it in.
Ridiculous.
But it was already in the cup and it never like mixed.
Okay.
That was upsetting.
I saw a TikTok trend where they were dropping Jaeger Bombs, but the problem is everyone was wearing white shirts.
Oh no,
dude. It like gave me so much anxiety. I was like, why are we doing this? Like everything's it's like boom, you drop this thing. Huge, but amazing drink.
Bartenders are cool how they have like tricks where they do that.
What's insane, I've seen groups of 20 people, and they'll have, all the Red Bull, and they'll have the shot of Jaeger, right? And it's like you tap one, and they're like, and they all tap. And that's the bartender tricks. That's what's fun when you take group shots. Really.
You know what I hate? I hate those shots where it's like the waitress like rubs her boobies on the guy's face and then slaps them and then squirts a fireball shot in their mouth.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
You see? What? You must not be going to the same bar as I'm going to.
Wait,
You've seen like videos of that.
What?
Where they spin the guy in a chair like 30 times, and then like he turns around and she puts like her boobs in his face and then smushes them, and then he squirts alcohol in his mouth. Dude, at least comes up on my For You page.
Yeah, what are you watching on TikTok, dude? Come on.
Porn. Dude, I'll show you after the show. Kids show, but we'll leave it to the after show.
And
Life's a party after dark.
Yeah. my favorite
Titty
shot
is number 1.
Whatever. My favorite shot is Jameson. I love Jameson.
Between some boobies.
Oh. I love Jameson. I'm very Irish, and
very Irish.
And I remember, St. Patrick's Day we just passed recently, a couple weeks ago. First thing I did was started the night with a Jameson shot.
Yes.
And then I got a Guinness, and I said, "There we go." And I really do like the taste of Jameson. It's not for everyone. My girlfriend hates it. A lot of my friends don't like it, but I have a few of my friends who we will drink it together, and I freaking love it, dude.
So the problem with Jameson is one of the best shots that I am aware of with Jameson are picklebacks.
And we don't like pickles.
And we don't like pickles. So therefore we can't do that. You just take Jameson straight?
Yeah.
That's your number 1 shot?
Yeah. I love that. I love Jameson, dude.
Was there any consideration of putting Fireball in this top 5 list?
I was, yeah. But the thing is, I
left it out.
I didn't want to choose 2
memories. Memories left that out.
Yeah, I mean,
bad memories.
That's the thing. Jameson, most of the memories are good. Fireball, most of the memories are bad. So I guess it wouldn't be a top 5. Yes, does it get you? Do I love Fireball? Absolutely. But if I choose one whiskey on the list, I would choose Jameson.
That's a good point. I think most shots correlate with what kind of times and memories you've had taking those shots. So
Agreed.
if you have bad memories of taking Fireball, it's probably not going to be on your top 5 list.
Yeah. Fellas, have you started spring cleaning yet? The carpets need cleaning, the drapes need dusting, and your lawn needs mowing. Spring has sprung, and the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming have the best tools for cleaning aisle 5 in your pants. Time to clear out your winter bush and join the other 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with our code Life'sAParty.
The start of spring also marks the start of Testicular Cancer Awareness Month in April. Manscaped has partnered with Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and early cancer detection. Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men's aged 15 to 35 and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer as part of their We Save Balls initiative.
Smell so fresh and clean this spring, and check yourself before you wreck yourself. Get 20% off with free shipping and our code Life'sAParty at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with our code Life'sAParty at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life.
I actually volunteered to check balls.
Can you check mine?
Okay, this is not making it.
Life's a party, baby.
All right, so let's get into our next block here. It's entertainment facts. So we're going to be pickpocketing all across the entertainment world from Mario to acting to all over the place in pop culture, Paul. So we're excited about these entertainment facts. So let's get into them. Number one entertainment fact is that Mickey Mouse wears white gloves to make his hands visible when in front of his body. So back in the day, when each frame would be drawn by hand, gloves were drawn instead of bony hands to speed up the production. Psychology also plays a small role in this, adding gloves to the character to make him seem more human-like, as he is seen doing things that only people are normally able to do. So this was very interesting. You don't really think of that kind of things. Like, you just think, oh, what other color would Mickey's hands be? But it does make sense.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't.
So that's pretty much all I have to say on that.
So
cool fact.
I was thinking about another animation fact that we don't have here that I learned recently, which I think is extremely interesting. So Hanna-Barbera.
Who's that?
Hanna-Barbera characters. That's like the Flintstones.
Was that Hanna-Barbera?
Is it? I don't know the theme song of Hanna-Barbera.
I think it might be that.
So one of the most famous animation studios back in the day was Hanna-Barbera, which was the Flintstones, the Jetsons, Scooby-Doo. Those type of character, Yogi
Bear?
Yogi Bear. So like those characters, right? And I found this was really interesting where what happened was the studio, they were cutting like the budgets of the studio, and it was becoming really expensive to create animation at the time. And what they decided to do, and they realized saved them a lot of money, was that they started to add like a collar or like a shirt on the neck of all the characters. So what they would do is when they would animate, they used to have to animate the full character from like head to toe, almost every frame.
Yeah.
But by adding, so like Scooby-Doo, for example, right? He's got his famous collar. By adding that, when he spoke or any character ever spoke, the body could stay still, and they only had to animate half the frame, like his head.
Oh.
So it saved them a ridiculous amount of animation cost. And without that technique, that studio almost would have died.
That's interesting.
And animation, the way we know it, probably wouldn't still exist.
If you think of like, I don't know what, the first character that popped in my head when you explained that was like Arthur and Caillou. Like Caillou has that yellow shirt, but he has like a blue collar or a red collar.
Like the way they were designed was try to help animation, so that they weren't spending as much by basically animating a full body every single time they moved or every frame or when they were just talking. They could just cut it off and then keep that bottom in the same position.
I mean, I don't blame it. We talk about this on the show all the time on like how crazy it is that they have to draw every freaking scene.
The way animation used to work and the idea of Snow White being the first animated feature film is insane. Like, just insanity, the way animation used to work. I mean, still does. It really is an amazing art, and how long it takes. I mean, talk about Pixar, Disney Animation. Those films take around 5 years to make.
Well, I told you, I started watching that Inside Pixar.
Yeah.
And they did the episode on Soul, and it's just crazy to think. Well, obviously, they've evolved.
The
Well, it's probably,
process.
yeah, but like how it's more like computer based now.
But
probably,
still,
right?
those computer animated films, they're still taking 5 years to make. From like concept to, premiering in the theaters, it's like 5 years.
I was gonna ask if they have table reads for animation movies. But
They do.
Definitely do.
They do. Yeah.
Like, how often are table reads?
For
Like
what?
in movies. I feel like table reads are so awkward, isn't it?
Table
Like,
reads.
isn't it hard to be an actor and actress in a table read in a very emotional scene? And like, I've seen like where like Bradley Cooper is like crying during a table read.
I mean, that's his character, right? They're reading through the script for the first time. If you don't know what a table read is, that's basically what it is. They take all of the actors and the actresses, the crew, everyone, the director, everyone's in a room, usually a very big table, and everyone has a script in front of them and reads through the script for the very first time. So everyone gets to experience the story together. They get to learn. They get to ask questions after, and it is interesting to watch those table reads.
I feel like it has to be so nerve wracking. Like
Yeah.
if I would be put in a movie, like okay, I'll go act. Like obviously, I'll go act and do the story. And like I'm moving, I'm like in the moment. But to sit down and be that character in front of everybody, like I know it's
for
just,
the first
it's just
time too,
different.
as you're reading it, maybe for the first time, that's even hard.
Plus,
Like,
because
that's
it's
so hard.
it's such new. Like obviously, you're probably studying stuff, but I think table
Yeah.
reads are one of the hardest. Like one of the scariest things. Like if Life's a Party blows up and we end up in the movie or some shit or commercial, a table read is something I'd be very scared of.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, next one.
Next one. So another thing with animation here, and this fact really helps you. Just like the animation was easier for everyone. So all the characters in The Simpsons only have 4 fingers, and that goes for a lot of characters in animation. I mean, all the way back in the day, where this is mainly, it occurred because it was mainly due to the problem of animators having to draw 5 fingers. It was just much easier to animate only 4. And when you think of, cartoon characters too, it kind of just separated them and made them feel a little bit more cartoonish.
Well, I was just thinking of Caillou and Arthur again. Don't they have like mitten? Or Arthur has
4, I think. Yeah.
He has,
I mean, that famous meme of Arthur with the hand.
but why 1 finger? You know, like, why not just cut it off at 3?
I think it's just probably the movement. I mean, 3. I guess maybe.
Well, I mean, they did that with Patrick. He didn't have any hands.
That's true.
Yeah, he's talking about SpongeBob. Patrick's literally like a
Patrick Star. All right, next one is Mario was given a mustache so that players could probably see his nose. So the game director at Nintendo stated in an interview once that the original 8-bit artwork of Mario was off. When his nose was added, it was unclear where his placement was. As a result, the mustache was added to properly see his whole face. And I was looking at a picture of Mario, and I was trying to visualize how weird it would have been if he didn't have a mustache. Like, you could see where it doesn't really match up symmetrically. Is that a word? Symmetrically? Yeah. So I didn't realize how big Mario's nose was. So I did think that was an interesting fact, Luigi and Mario.
I think his nose was purposely big to identify the direction of the character, like which way he's going. Because if you're playing a video game, right, and the way Mario worked was like, it's on a 2-dimensional surface.
Yeah.
So he can only go left and right. So the nose would basically, having a big nose would help gamers like realize which way they were moving.
That's
or
interesting.
They were faced.
Because like when you think about it, Mario was originally probably designed for 2D only.
I mean, yeah, it wasn't designed.
I wonder
as a
if
3D
they added.
person.
Have they added features to Mario for 3D?
Yeah, probably.
100%. They never had I don't think they had a front-facing Mario until 3D came out. You never had it where he was looking directly.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's bizarre to me. I forgot what I was gonna say. Mustache. Oh, isn't it crazy how a late add-on can almost?
Yes.
The late add-on of the mustache is Mario's most prominent. Like symbolizes what, because when you think of Mario and you go, oh, it'll be Mario for Halloween.
It's the mustache and the hat. That's like
And
what
the
I think of
overalls.
Mario. Yeah,
You
overall.
were Mario for a talent contest.
I did a live. I forget what it was called. It was basically like a live version of Mario, and I created my own level of the game. I performed at a talent
Yeah, you had
show.
people like actually hold the coins and shit.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, Mario. What?
You have a good impression?
Of Mario? No, I wasn't speaking of. No, I don't even want to do that.
Mario.
That's horrible.
Mario.
That's
That
pretty-
sounds like more like Toad, but yeah.
Toad, Mr. Toad, we need you back, buddy. All right, next one, Paul.
Next one we got here, staying with Nintendo. The first Game Boy could run for 30 hours straight with only 2 AA batteries. I was a huge Game Boy fanatic when I was a kid.
Yeah, me too. Game Boy was the
Loved
shit.
Game Boy, man.
But even when they updated the Game Boy, I stayed with the original.
Game Boy Color. And then even DS, like when the DS came out, I loved the DS.
Well, the Game Boy Color was a big thing in this, and why it was lasting battery life.
Yeah, so the main reason it only lasted on 2 batteries was due to the screen having just 4 shades of gray and being backlit. Because of this, the Game Boy became more useful than any other portable console at the time. Multiplayer gaming was also possible with the use of link cables, and the early Pokemon games were one of the most popular games to use that feature.
So this actually pisses me off.
Do you
Not this.
Do you not like Pokemon?
No, I actually don't like Pokemon.
Is it that Game Boy has a better battery life than your phone?
Yes. Like, where we are technology-wise, where we're almost at flying cars, I don't know, maybe we're close to flying cars. Maybe, do you feel like we're close to flying cars?
I've had a lot of people
We're
ask me, why
close.
don't we have flying cars? We already have road rage. I don't think we need that in the air.
I
You
really
see
don't.
that viral clip of that kid who got one of David Dobrik's I don't know if it was one of David Dobrik's boy, but it was like Tesla that like flew off the hill.
It wasn't one of David's. David did it years ago. They did like it's a very famous road. Ryan is referring to a viral video. It was a very famous road in California where it's like a peak.
Yeah.
That if you speed up and you go at a pretty decent speed, you will basically jump the road
Yeah.
and you will fly, and then you'll end up on the other side of the hill.
And this idiot.
Did it in a Tesla.
Yeah.
And it flew on the road. It was going pretty fast down, and then it smacked into the back of a car.
Yeah, crashed into a parked car, and apparently it said it wasn't him, and it was just.
It was
So
the
that
autopilot.
They jumped this car in
that
California.
did not work as a flying car. I
No.
mean, we might get those soon. But what I'm going to say, I feel like I brought this up very angrily in the past.
You have.
But why have we have such advanced technology where Elon Musk is going to the moon himself, and he's coming up? We possibly talking about a real Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Why does my phone battery not last for longer than what it is? It makes no sense.
Do you want the actual answer?
Was it for money because you got to buy chargers?
Motherfucker, you have to have a thin phone. Do you know how thick AA batteries are?
Motherfucker, you got to get a thick phone. Why do you say it like that?
There are phones
Motherfucker, you got to get a thick phone, bro.
There are phones that last that long. The battery maker Energizer made an Android phone that was about, about this thick.
Yeah, battery. I mean, batteries are
People who are just-
powerful.
Did Blackberries last long? Because they were thick.
I don't know. I never had a BlackBerry.
Yeah, you were born in like 2004.
My mom had a BlackBerry, and I think it lasted a pretty long time. But with how powerful our phones are now and how slim the batteries have to be, I mean, it's a tall tale to ask for what we have right now.
I remember Ryan. I remember you saying, "Why don't we have wireless charging?" Or like you could just walk around and turn on your charging.
Right.
It
Like it'd be like a
exists.
Bluetooth.
Does it?
Like a
It
Bluetooth charger.
It does exist. Xiaomi is a Chinese company. We don't get it here because it's a whole issue.
Yeah.
If you want to read up about it, go ahead. I'm not going to get.
I
into
don't read it,
so.
so.
Yeah.
It had to be
fair
on. It had to be a TikTok.
It's not very fast. Not very good. Very inefficient. But it has to make basically like a laser beam of infrared light, and it has to pick up on your phone. It's been tested with in some commercial things, but it's never got off the ground because it doesn't provide enough power.
Eventually, 10 years.
What if we put solar panels on our iPhones without us even knowing? And whenever we walked around outside, they would just charge.
Well,
I'm trying. I don't know.
why would the?
But
why
you
would
wouldn't.
the
It wouldn't look like a solar panel. Like I always tell my mom, like, Mom, do not get solar panels because they look ugly on your house.
I mean, technically,
I wouldn't want a solar
I mean,
panel
they're
on my
efficient
phone.
and they do great
I'm
things,
gonna go,
but
I'm going to go with another technicality here. LEDs can become solar panels, and solar panels can be LEDs. Solar panels, if you power them with, not having the sun in them, if you actually power them from a battery, they emit infrared light, which you can't see. LEDs can also do the same thing. It's just LEDs are not as good as doing it as solar panels are, and vice versa. So they have their specific case scenarios.
I'm laughing because like we just talked about how we get producer Drew on these mics. He's over there spitting knowledge.
yeah, we need a better mic for him. So soon.
Frig, I did it again where I forget what I was gonna say.
Ryan's little rant. He just
You
needs
want longer-
wireless.
You want longer battery life? Go ahead.
Oh, here's what I gotta say. So you talk about I need a motherfucker. You need a thick ass phone for that. Here's SD cards hold my phone's value in this. Why can't like a battery just be like an SD card?
It's
Like what?
I don't know
that
anything
makes
about
no
I don't know
sense.
anything about batteries, man.
Batteries are a lot more complicated. SD cards don't blow up if you puncture them. You know what I mean? It's
No, I don't know.
Yeah, batteries.
Motherfucker, I don't know what you mean.
if you puncture a battery, it will explode. You have to be very careful. There are very tight tolerances, and we are stretching it as of right now. And eventually, we can hopefully make them smaller. But as of right now, it's a very tall order to do with lithium-ion batteries, and hopefully, we can move to another battery.
Spitting knowledge, man. Spitting knowledge on
He's
the
got it all.
batteries.
He's the full package. All right, next one. So
It's now time to mention I'm an electrical engineer in my spare time.
Nice. There you go.
you're done. You're done. You're done. All right. Netflix outranks every single television network in the United States. This spells bad news for television networks as ratings continuously drop over time. However, Netflix increases in popularity. It will continuously and add original series and content for its subscribers. So I got a couple things on this. I don't know if you saw this, but was there rumors that TikTok was going to raise their prices? Did you see the TikTok where this girl? This is another thing that gets me angry. It's like how you have like the different monthly packages. Same thing with Amazon and shipping. It puts you on the shipping to get it faster as the default. So like apparently Netflix was up on their charges on this TikTok I saw, and the default was to pay an extra like $9.99 when you could just click the bubble above it and pay the same rate on what you're doing now. But I saw there was rumors for Netflix charging more. I didn't know if you have Netflix, right?
Yeah, I mean, 250 million people have Netflix. It's the most popular streaming service. You know, I think it's the original.
What's second? Disney?
Amazon. I think Amazon Prime technically is.
Amazon Prime?
It's because everyone has Prime shipping, right? So Prime Video is included in that, and it automatically by default becomes like number 2, and then it would become Disney Plus. But Disney Plus really is the biggest competitor to Netflix, and it has I believe over 100 million subscribers to Disney Plus. And I think it's not just Netflix really killing television network or network television. It's really every streaming service, right? Like if you think of every major movie studio streaming service, you have Netflix has become its own studio.
Paramount has their own streaming.
Paramount's got Paramount Plus, Disney Plus. Warner Brothers is HBO Max.
Is it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so you got everyone's got a little bit of taste. You have Amazon Prime, and then Hulu. Hulu's partially owned by Disney. So everyone's got their own thing, and I think the combination of all the streaming services, including Netflix, who is the leader in the industry, it's gonna. And the only thing that network television is even good for anymore is live sports.
Yeah,
It really is like live events. Other than that, though, there's no reason I would buy
because
cable.
all the good network stuff ends up on streaming.
Yeah, it does. Like
if it's good, you go to streaming.
Yeah,
to get paid.
Yeah, and the thing is, if a show is really good on network television, it'll eventually make its way, and you'll just watch.
It's like The Office. The Office was good on network television. It's moving to streaming services. They moved it just to Peacock, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, because it's an NBC.
Because I was watching Barstool has this trivia thing. It's like name the top 25 streamed shows, and Office didn't make the cut because they had the move to Peacock,
and no one has.
And
Peacock.
no one has Peacock, so its streaming views went down.
But when it was on Netflix, it was the highest streamed show by far. It was like ridiculous. And the guy who plays Kevin on the show, he goes on a bunch of podcasts.
Yeah,
and
I think he has his own, doesn't he? He just started one.
I don't know. He talks about The Office all the time, and he was saying how when they filmed the show, and he was he's the main character on the show, he would walk around, he'd be fine. Like he wasn't really a big famous person, even when they filmed the show and when the show was at its height of popularity. Yeah. But he said when the show went to streaming and it went to Netflix, he goes, it was like 8 years after they filmed their last episode. He's like, it was at its height of popularity. Like 8 years after the show finished, it became its most popular it ever was. And it was because of Netflix and streaming. And he said he would be in the airport and like people would find him. He's like, I haven't filmed for that show in 8 years.
That's what we talk about on us on a lower scale. We talk about audience outreach.
Yes.
And when Office goes to streaming, the audience outreaches increase. It's just getting those people to come on our show. Like we talked about before, getting a guest. Not to get guests weekly just for our show numbers, but to get a different audience to recognize us that we exist.
Yeah, I mean, your show can be as amazing as it is. And that's why I talk about how film is a combination of creative and business. Because no matter how good the content is, Office clearly is good.
Yeah.
People clearly want to see it. People clearly like it. But if you don't have this distribution and you aren't able to get it to the right people, then it will never be as successful as it could have been. And that's the same thing with movies, right? Like if it has to be creatively awesome, but from a business perspective, you have to worry about distribution, where it's playing. And a really interesting thing that's happening right now is with Disney Plus and certain types of movies, where Encanto, we talk about Encanto, it came out around Thanksgiving in 2021, and the movie did not do well in the theaters. Combination of things. COVID, the second spike, and people might have been somewhat with the holidays, and a lot of people weren't really coming back to the movies yet. And then was like, really wasn't talked about. Thing hits Disney Plus, juggernaut. Like did phenomenal for them. The streaming It was breaking streaming records on the platform. The music was hitting top of the charts. We're talking about it hit number 1 on the top the charts for like 5 weeks. Only Disney.
Wait, is that Lin-Manuel's thing?
Lin-Manuel
We had it on going here. It's like today's top hits, and it's like you don't talk about Bruno. I'm like, why is this on here? Well,
and it's the only Disney song to ever hit number 1 on the charts. And like Aladdin, A Whole New World was the only one to ever get close. It got like number 2, but it wasn't even the one in the movie. It was the one at the credits with like, it was like a cover of the song. So the movie did amazingly well on streaming and reached its audience. So clearly the movie was good, right?
Yeah.
But the way it was distributed made it as popular as it could have been. And that's what's interesting going forward. Like, do you want to make the most money, or do you, by putting it in the theater, like, is that the best route for that movie? Do we think it can make the most Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Like on streaming, like it made the most money in the theater. That was the right decision. But you have certain movies that are so good that could do a lot better for the company if you just put it straight to streaming.
Right. So
It's weird.
do you think that creators should stop trying to be specific in the moment of modern in their times, if this makes sense? So you think about The Office, that's everlasting. Like it's the office environment. Everybody has that boss. Like the jokes obviously aren't everlasting.
Yeah.
Like even Kevin, I heard him talking in an interview. He was like, "Dude, some of this shit we cannot say.
You
like,
can't make today.
Like 9/11 jokes. It's like this is not cool in today's world. Like, but it's aired. But they shot them. But from what I'm saying is like, I think of a rapper. Like a rapper like does like sports references in their rap song. Like, oh, Aaron Judge, LeBron James. Like a fuck. They spit a bar in like that. But then, is that song going to be everlasting, like a Billy Joel song? You know what I'm saying? So is that almost like a disadvantage? Or like a Spider-Man has like a pop culture like bit in it? Do you think that's a disadvantage to be modern in your time to last longer in the future?
I think a good story can transcend generations.
Because there are those, like a Spider-Man I think of specifically, where there's a lot of modern bits
Yes.
that you don't really pick up on unless you're like in tune with what's going on in pop culture. But then obviously those age out.
I agree. I think, as I just said, I think any story that's good should transcend generations, should transcend, culture and like, I mean, everything, right? And like language barriers, all that stuff.
Well, like Back to the Future, I haven't seen that, but that has to have a million pop culture things, right? In modern time.
It does, and it does. The movie was so funny. Today, I was in Walmart today with my girlfriend, and we literally bought this Funko. We bought this Funko, and right next to him was a brand new figure for Doc Brown, which is in Back to the Future. It's one of the main characters. That movie was made in 1985. There was a brand new figure for that character in Walmart. There's clearly something working. It's clearly still selling.
Yeah, but kids in the 2000s aren't buying that.
There might be. Dude,
you think
if you
I
go
don't
back
know,
and watch
dude.
that story, that's a perfect example. That story can transcend generations. It has pop culture references, but most people, they're general enough to figure it out or know of it. And then even if you don't, it doesn't move you away from the story. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, like
it
the
might take you
theme.
out like a second, but it doesn't really change your thoughts or your process
Right.
of viewing the story. And as long as your story does that, it doesn't matter.
Right. So those tiny bits can last because the theme is overpowering it.
Yes,
But
agreed.
if your total theme and all has more pop culture in the modern times, then I guess that could be a disadvantage. The last thing I'll say about Netflix is like I honestly feel like the stuff that they have on their platform, they don't get the new stuff. Like I feel like they're always late to the party.
You know
I feel
why?
what really drives them is the original series.
Okay. Yes, you're right. 100%. Like there's a reason behind that though.
Why?
Because when Netflix first came out, they were the only player in the game. Which,
Right.
what happened? They were taking all the great series from everywhere. It's like, oh, we don't know Friends, right? Like Friends, The Office. They all went to Netflix, and then the popularity went up, right? And then what happened was all of these other studios were realizing, hey, Netflix is making a crap ton of money. Why don't we do the same thing? So then you have Peacock, and you have Disney Plus. Like Disney Plus, there were so many, like a bunch of old school Disney movies were going to Netflix.
Yeah.
And they realized, okay, this is like ridiculous. Like, why is Netflix taking all this reward and getting all this money? Why can't we do this with all our own properties?
Right.
And they realized that they can. And then when that started happening, all of the networks and all of the studios were taking back their content, which made Netflix very bare. And then Netflix said, okay, if this continues and this trend is happening, we're going to have nothing. What do we got to do? Create original content. And then they started getting really good at it. And then they started, TV shows is where they excel. They're amazing at creating original content for TV. I don't think anyone else, any studio compares even close.
Yeah.
But then,
Well, I was talking about like Love Is Blind. That's an original
Yeah.
series. That's only Netflix. Then they started doing that like contract deals with big actors like Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler
had
signed
some
like a
Netflix deal.
nine movie contract with them. Right now, they're bringing in big name actors. The Adam Project, which I really liked, was Ryan Reynolds, Mark Ruffalo, and I forget the girl's name. But I mean, that was like a huge sci-fi movie. It could have definitely went to theaters, but ended up doing a deal on Netflix, and that's why they're doing good. They're creating their original content, but they had to because they had to pivot because every other studio was taking the content from them.
That's like when I think about, oh, this movie came out like 4 weeks ago. It's been in the movie theaters for a while. I don't think to look at Netflix because I'm
They're
like,
not
this
gonna
movie
have that
came
new
out like a
stuff.
month ago. That's newer for it to be on a live streaming platform, but I feel like it's about the time where the movie could transfer from the theaters to a streaming platform. I don't go to Netflix. I go to like Hulu.
Yes.
I go to like Hulu, HBO Max. I feel like those two streaming platforms will have those big movies, those blockbuster movies out before Netflix will ever get it.
The movie, the time window has gone down because of COVID, has gone down a lot.
So what do you
And
mean down? Like it takes longer from theater to streaming service, or it takes shorter?
It's a lot shorter. It's
Yeah.
Most of the studios have signed with the movie in the distribution. It's about 45-day window. So like the Batman, for example, with Robert Pattinson, that movie, it's only going to be in theaters for 45 days, and then it can go to HBO Max for no extra cost.
So we talked about this last week on like the contract on like, oh, you pay to have it in the theaters. Could you just like stop? I don't know, you probably don't know the answer, but could you just like stop? Be like, oh, we don't want to show us in theaters anymore. Let's move it to platforms. Obviously, you'd have to understand like the contracts.
That's the rule. It's like a 45-day window, and that's what they've been doing now. Where I mean, originally when we were watching the original Spider-Man movies, the movie would play in theaters as long as it was making money. They would continue as long as you could have theaters. There's room for theaters to show your movie, and it was continually making money. And then eventually the studio would pull the movie. And then it was about 3 months until you could get that movie on VHS, DVD, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it would be about another 2 months until that movie would go on any streaming service. Now it's literally movie and then freaking right to streaming service, 45 days, which is what's happening is killing the box office for film.
I was gonna say it's killing movie theaters.
So
Not even just the box office for the film, but the theaters.
But no, right? So like Spider-Man No Way Home. You had Spider-Man, amazing movie, huge. Sony, the the creator, the studio behind it, and the distributor does not have a streaming service. So it's one of the last ones. Sony does not have
Do
one.
you think they probably will?
No, they don't have the library of content. They're gonna. I mean, Spider-Man has a deal right now to go to Netflix.
Yeah.
So and then it'll eventually go to Disney Plus like in 3 years. But I think the reason why that movie was able to make so much money is because it had time to grow and it had time for that box office. People were like, because the movie, they couldn't see it. They couldn't wait 45 days to go see it on Disney Plus. They were seeing it 2-3 times in theaters, which was pushing up that. I saw it twice in theater, which pushed up that box office. Where you had the Batman, right? People really love the Batman. But at the same time, they saw it once. They're like, oh, I can get it on HBO Max in 45 days. Why spend? But for Spider-Man, we didn't know the next time we would see it.
Right.
So the whole movie landscape of theaters, box office, streaming. It's crazy and it's
only gonna get
changing.
crazier.
It's gonna get worse. Yeah, it's gonna get
It's
crazy.
crazier because these streaming platforms are starting to get into sports. Like
With what?
Amazon is close to they're talking about negotiations to get into like streaming NFL games, like live games.
They
Just signed the guy who does Sunday Night Football with Colin Cowherd, not Jim Nance. I forget his name. It's gonna come to me, but they signed him on like a media contract, big bucks, Amazon to do sports for their platform.
That's
So
crazy.
it's only gonna get crazier and crazier.
Yeah, I think I watched a playoff game on like CBS on like Prime or Amazon Prime Video, and I'm like, oh, this is great, and I think it'll continue to do that.
Movie theaters should transition more so into the showing live events. Do you think that? Because I know sometimes they'll show like big boxing matches,
It would be really,
but I feel like that's
Yeah.
what casinos are for. Like I don't know, it's just a weird space to get into, but it's something to think about for them.
they're gonna have to
Do something.
They're gonna have
right?
to do something. We've talked about different ways to improve that.
I know they have
experience.
arcades, like very small arcades in a movie
Arcades in
theater.
there.
Maybe make them big. Like you gotta think of some other way.
It
to
would
get
be
people in.
cool. I mean, the idea of being able to rent out a theater is awesome.
Yes.
Like if I said, "Hey, I want to rent out one of your smaller theaters that fits 100 people for $200. We cater it. We bring in food, or maybe there's like some tables up front or tables in the back, maybe
Yeah.
where like everyone can sit and watch the movie, and then you could kind of eat and stick around. Like,
I just don't think it's advertised enough. You know,
the theater?
just like the rent out a theater. Like you never see
I
a
don't really
commercial
think-
to rent out
I
a
think
theater.
I think
it's
it
only
was,
like $100, right, for like a night or something.
it was really big with COVID because they didn't have any movies to show.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of theaters are still doing that, so I don't know.
It's not the theater's fault they're struggling right now. You know, like
It kinda-
what's the
but
reason
it kind
why?
of is. No, but it kind of
The
is.
prices? I mean, they've always been expensive.
They've always been expensive, but I've thought, why are some reason I love going to the movie theater, but the last couple times I saw the Batman and I saw Spider-Man No Way Home, I had issues in the theater.
What do you
People
mean?
on their phones, people talking. I was in a Batman, and there was a group of 5 kids like on the left side, and I'm watching these kids, and I'm like hearing it. I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. And then, it's a long movie. Like I get it, but at the same time, I think there were like 10 or 20 minutes left, and there was a guy, I heard him. He's like, yo, guys, 20 minutes left. It's pretty much done. Please, like, stop talking. The kid shut up. And I had this issue with Uncharted.
Yeah.
So the last 3 times I've been in the theater, I've been annoyed.
I saw a TikTok today. You probably saw it because it's on your kind of feed. You're not watching those booby shots. You're watching movie shit.
Movie shots.
Movie shot. You're not watching booby shots.
Yeah.
You're watching movie
Movie
shots. But this guy was in an argument with one of the movie theater workers because he wasn't sitting in his exact seat, and he was holding up the movie, and they didn't start yet. And he's like, "No, I'm not gonna get out of here." Blah blah blah. He's like, "Sir, come on, we'll refund you." Blah blah. He's like, "Oh, can I get a free drink too?" But he's causing a disruption because he's
Yeah.
not sitting in his exact seat, which that's a newer thing, right? Where it's like you didn't have to pay for an exact seat. You just buy a ticket to the movie, walk in, and then find a seat.
You find an open seat that you sit there.
Which way do you like it better?
I would prefer the idea of picking your own seat, like when you get to the theater, because it rewards being there early. It rewards
Right.
being on time and just like, whatever. But at the same time, I like the idea of having a reserved seat because though I don't have to worry. I know I'm in a good seat. Like
That's
whatever.
true.
Like there are,
But you're not a late
pros and
person to get to the
cons.
movie theater. I like to get there early too. So I would never have to feel like, oh, I hope I can get there for a seat because I get there early to begin with.
But I don't know. Movie theaters, something's got to change. We love talking about it, and we'll see where this world of entertainment goes.
Good show.
But great show. If you're not, so Ryan has been hinting at extra content.
Yes.
And we do have a Patreon account. We're trying to bump that up. We got some cool exclusive content on there, some behind the scenes. So definitely check us out. It is on the link in our bio on our social media platforms. That is at Life's a Party Pod over on Instagram, TikTok. Link in our bio will direct you to our Patreon page. So it helps support us and helps the show keep going. So we appreciate if you are a supporter. But that's it. We'll see you as always.
Music, take us out.
Peace.
Later.